Lawyers representing the grieving family of Adrianna Younge, the 11-year-old girl found dead in the swimming pool of a Tucson hotel, have described a recent meeting with Police Commissioner Clifton Hicken as a necessary first step in their ongoing quest for answers. The meeting, held Wednesday morning, included 2 of the commissioner's deputies, although the crime chief could not attend. Attorney Dexter Todd, joined by fellow lawyer UC Anderson, addressed the media following the engagement. They explained that while many questions remain unanswered, the police commissioner assured them that a comprehensive investigation is underway. Here is a press briefing of the questions asked by the lawyers.
Mr. Todd, just an update on the meeting this morning.
All right. This morning we met with the Commissioner of Police and 2 of the Deputy Commissioners of Police. Unfortunately, the crime chief could not be in the meeting. We want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he had other pressing issues. And therefore, the commissioner, being the head of the force, was not at this stage briefed enough to be able to engage and answer some questions that we and the families had. So the way of answering those questions is that we have been advised to put them in writing, and at some stage when the answers are available, the answers will be given.
What are some of the questions you're seeking to get answered by the commissioner and the crime chief?
All right. Who really is heading this investigation? Who the investigators are in this investigation? No answer. What really are you investigating? Are you investigating, have you ruled out homicide? Are you investigating homicide? No answer. Samples have been sent overseas for testing. What tests are you hoping to be conducted from those samples? No answer. When likely would those tests be available? No answer. Is there a preliminary report available of the autopsy which was done? That is not yet been provided, it's not available. So we have no answer. Would you oppose us, of course, having a review of the autopsy? Well, we don't have the report, so no answer. So in a nutshell, the police force, all that they were prepared to say from the commissioner's level is that they are doing a comprehensive investigation. But they're not at liberty at this stage to say what really the comprehensive investigation will entail.
Mr. Anderson? Nothing much to add. We asked a lot of questions. We asked specifically... I could shout. We asked specifically whether or not the force is opposed to a second autopsy. We were told no answer where that is concerned as well. Next, I think we asked one other crucial issue that we got the same response, no answer. I can't remember right now. But generally, the thrust of today's meeting was that we need a follow-up meeting. I don't know how productive or how useful that would be in light of the urgency and the sensitivity of this matter. That is all I'm prepared to say at this point in time.
Given this case, an 11-year-old disappeared in a hotel, was found dead. The local, regional, and international outcry that you have seen, are you concerned that the force seemed not to be moving with a sense of urgency to solve this matter?
Well, the challenge here is that we don't know. We know from what we have been seeing that there may be some challenges in the investigation. And I think one of the reasons we wanted to have this first conversation with the Commissioner of Police and the Crime Chief is to have an appreciation as to really where the shortcomings are, where our limitations are in terms of the investigation, and then see how the police force plans to involve the international community to bring in the experts in various areas. And I think that was quite disappointing that even days after this incident, we cannot say to the family whether the international community will be involved, presenting some form of assistance to aid the police force in a better and more thorough investigation.
What is it, Dr. Todd? Did you get commitment about international assistance?
There was no commitment on that. All we know is that the force is saying samples were sent, but they cannot say at this stage what tests are to be conducted in the and then when you look at the you see that is why it brought some worry about the pronouncement, because if you were going to say drowning and all our eyes and people who are sensible enough to recognize that something is wrong, if the preliminary report is not available, why was there a public pronouncement on a prospective cause of death of this child without having a preliminary report available at least? And you want to say, would it not have been better to say that the entire autopsy process is incomplete and therefore it will be premature at this stage to pronounce on a possible cause of death? Because I think that is what assisted in exacerbating this entire situation.
Was that raised as a point in the discussions?
That was raised, and we had requested, because the family wishes to have a second review, and so we had asked to see whether that, but it's not available. It was not given to the police, so they don't have a preliminary report as yet.
Is there, at any point in time, will you be making contact with the three pathologists who were here?
I would think the police are in contact with them, and it's for the police to get the report from them, and then we can get it from the police. I believe we may be crossing some ethical borders if we were the ones to directly interface with them. Yes.
Has there been any update as it relates to the release of the toxicology report?
The toxicology report is not back. I can tell you from my own experience, the toxicology report is going to take some time because the testing itself is a very thorough, lengthy process. I'm not too sure that they can get it back in such short time.
And the DNA, how long that could possibly take?
Well, DNA is shorter, but I would think the DNA test should be available in short time. That is a shorter.
Counsel, did you ask about whether the police had collected any residue or actual water sample from the pool?
It is as though you were right there in a meeting with me.
Yes, he was.
I asked that question because, and the reason I asked that question is because if you were going to do various tests to test the water, allegedly what was found in the lungs and stuff, you have to test that and match that to something. When we do comparative tests, you have to actually have the sample, the natural sample, and then you remember, because you're straining the blood to pull out the water contents. So what are you matching that against? How are you doing the comparative analysis? They can't see if any water was taken from that pool. And I tell you, we all seeing that the pool was empty, as dry as day. So I'm not too sure. And these were all concerns that were raised. But again, the Commission commissioner was not in a position to address those issues.
Did they say definitively that they can't say, or is it your assumption that they can't say if any residual water was there?
They are saying they cannot say at this stage. We are making no assumptions. I believe enough assumptions have been made and speculations, and that is why we decided that we want to talk with them directly. So they cannot stay at this stage.
And what's going on? Is there going to be a second autopsy?
That was raised, and of course they can make no pronouncement on that at this stage.
But wasn't it the desire of the family to have the second autopsy?
That is a desire of the family. But of course, even a second autopsy will of course want to have an appreciation of the first report. I would think if one wants to be very thorough, that would be an important document. Not only the report, but of course the video showing the dissection and everything of the body. You would want to have that. So it doesn't seem as though even all these days after that the force is at a stage in which you can either advance the investigations further or not. We are not sure which stage they're at.
So what's next?
The next step will have to be, as we agreed with the commissioner, we will have to write. And then, because of the time period, we will definitely have to look at seeing how from a higher policy level that we request that there be some form of international help in this matter.
Mr. Todd, we were hearing of Adrianna's body being in an advanced stage of decomposition. Were you able to see that body to be able to tell us?
Yes, we had a look at the body, and I can tell you, the body is good. The body is good. The body is not there. There are a few discoloration of the face, but outside of that, hands, feet, upper. It's very well. It's not decomposed at all. You know, I'm not too sure where that came from, but let's leave that. It is. We're not dealing with a decomposed child. If she was, I think miraculously she came back to perfect order.
She did a Lazarus. Is it a Lazarus?
But it's a good body.
And where does all of this leave the funeral now?
The family, we are meeting with the family now. They wanted to have some answers before they plan the date for the funeral. I will have to explain to them based on what is it that we witnessed in the meeting, and they will make a determination on the way forward in relation to the burial, because there has to be a burial and there has to be an end to her. We can't keep her in a morgue all the time.
And who requested this meeting, you or the police?
I requested the meeting. I formally wrote the Commissioner of Police and the Crime Chief requesting an urgent meeting. Commissioner made contact and approved, confirmed, approved and affirmed that the meeting will be today.
Thank you, Council.
All right.